Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to go over an update from IQST, ticker symbol IQST. We're also going to look at some updates from Hemp Incorporated, ticker symbol HEMP, which are actually from last week, but I haven't actually got to really break down those articles yet. So we'll look at both of these, and we'll take a look at what their price looks like currently today and where we think it may be moving forward. So just to reiterate, not a financial advisor. Also, if you find value in the video, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel if you enjoy our updates. It helps the channel out in a big way. So it says IQST confirms NASDAQ uplisting plans and $90 million in 2022 revenue forecast and Pubco Insight interview. Let's go down here and start it off here. Okay, so it says the in-depth interview asked tough questions to Mr. Quintana. And what I mean by Quintana, it's Alvaro Quintana, who's the CFO of IQST, okay, the Chief Financial Officer. He said he did not shy away from the challenge. He confirmed and elaborated on the company's plans to uplist to the NASDAQ and also confirmed the company is on track to meet or exceed the 2022 $90 million revenue forecast. And it says Pubco Insight interview is included in its entirety below. So we're going to kind of hit some of the key things here. It says, talks a little bit about IQST, which you already know about. If you don't, watch some other videos. Let's see. Here we go. All right, so it says, in our interview, Mr. Quintana, he addressed the concerns and discussed the state of their finances. He explained that although the company was focused on growing steadily and strategically over a long term, it remained financially healthy and well positioned to continue its rapid expansion into new markets. Furthermore, he provided insights into IQST's recently filed S-1 with the SEC, highlighting recent milestones demonstrating the company's continued growth and potential for success. Overall, our interview with Quintana offered a valuable glimpse into the financial health of this dynamic and exciting company. And if you don't know what I mean by an S-1 is basically a form that a company has to file if they're going to go public on a exchange, I believe. So if they're planning on going to the NASDAQ, then that's a good sign that they filed that. So here's the question. It says, what is the company's current state of financial affairs? Answer, I should say all the financial information has been adequately disclosed in our filings of Forms 10K and 10Q, and when there is a significant event that could impact in one way the normal development of our businesses, we always disclose those events, filing the corresponding Form 8K, which we usually comment simultaneously with the PR, and they're correct about that. So the company has a full transparency policy regarding our financials and significant events. At this time, there's nothing in particular that we have to mention or make reference to besides the fact that we are actively working on preparing our consolidated financial statements for the 9 months ending September 30th, 2022, which will be disclosed in the following due Form 10Q. Question 2. You recently filed an S-1 with the SEC and updated it even more recently. Can you please tell us more, and should I be concerned as a shareholder about my potential dilution? Answer. The S-1 is an offering statement intended to be used as an instrument to access new funds to finance our M&A campaign if needed. The company should have at all times a viable tool to access funds to take advantage of new good business opportunities. Our Regulation A offering statement reaches its expiration date last August, and the management thought an S-1 would be more suitable for a company looking to uplist to a national exchange. Management has been very responsible in managing primary issuance of shares. Suppose a company issues shares and the funds received from those issuance of the companies improve the company's financial results. In that case, it creates value for the shareholders, even if dilution occurs. For example, we started selling shares of our Regulation A late in May 2020. At that time, there were more than 60 million shares issued. From May 2020 to April 2022, we sold 67.5 million shares from Regulation A. If we compare the financials of the company as of June 30th, 2020 versus the financials of June 30th, 2022, you will notice that we have been creating value for our shareholders even with a dilution of 100% done with the issuance of shares sold on the Regulation A. It will not be different from the S-1 if we use it. Question. You are projecting $90 million in revenue for 2022. Please confirm that number and explain when you believe the company will reach profitability. We are confident that the company will reach the projected $90 million in revenue for 2022, and we are on the right path to profitability within the next few coming months. Question: we realize there will be forward-looking projections, but based on your best estimates, what do you project the company's financials for 2023? And it says, we dedicate a significant part of our time during the last quarter of the year to prepare a budget for the following year. At this time, we're working on the 2023 budget, so it's premature to give any number, but in that case, the company is setting goals to increase revenues, increase margins, and net profits. Moreover, the company has a clear path for our business objectives that are available for all shareholders and investors on our website. It's important to remark that the company has a successful trajectory over performing all the things we promised. Unfortunately, the world economic situation has slowed us down on our plans, but we have not changed our path. As we always did, the company is better than ever. Question: it appears that the deal with Apollo incentivizes them to drive the share price down to acquire shares at a lower price. How is that good for shareholders with the price dropping each day? We do not believe one player has the power to drive the market. If Apollo has the power to drive the market down to benefit itself by being able to get more shares based on the structure of a deal, then I would expect that it would use the same power to push the share price up to maximize its profits from the sale of shares they received. If they were so, all shareholders would benefit. But again, we do not think one player has the power to manipulate the market. What we see in the market is related to the general economic conditions in the United States and the entire world. The deal with Apollo is very good for the company because it allows the company to get funding from M&A campaign if needed. Apollo is committed to funding the company with up to $3.8 million over the next 12 months. This commitment shows how the investors believe in our business plan, management, and our independent board of directors. Okay, question. For a while, there was a lot of talk about the company uplisting to the NASDAQ. What happened to that? Is it still possible? And if so, how? And this will be I guess the last question here off of this interview. It says the company fulfills all requirements to be listed on the NASDAQ except for the minimum required stock price. We believe that within the favorable economic environment, the price of our stocks will be driven by the company's performance and not the influence of the general economic conditions. This one will also pass, as has happened with the other financial crises in the past. While that happens, we are working on having a better company every day with a solid and growing revenues, improving our gross and net margins. We are building a solid base for the future to come. In that scenario, we still believe that we can reach the minimum required price in an organic way within an adequate economic environment. The final message to shareholders is that the management team is the company's main shareholder. So every decision we make is made with the best interests of our shareholders in mind. The current price of our stock reflects more of the world economic situation because the company's business performance is better than ever. The management team founded this company on September 30th, 2008, 14 years ago. IQST is a life project for us, and we expect to be here for the next 14 years and beyond. Okay, so it says Mr. Quintana's explanations and insights into the company's current positions and future prospects have reassured us that IQST is a robust and growing company with a positive outlook. We believe that the company and its management team are confident that the shareholders who continue to hold long-term and strong as IQST enters this next growth phase will be rewarded with their patience. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Mr. Quintana, and thank you for our readers for following along. All right, so I talk about this stock every now and again, and I tell you that, yes, this is a longer-term play, but this here, guys, in my opinion, double up, triple up, no doubt in my mind. I mean, easy, maybe even a 4x from these price points at 25 cents. So my plan with this one is to start, and just like with hemp, which I'm about to talk about, is this month is to start, now that I got my positions, finished out in Z and OG, which, fingers crossed on that one, because if that one pops, then that one's rolling over into this fund here in IQST. But I'm starting to build out my position on IQST, because if something happens, ZNOG takes too long, or the price goes down, I'm stuck in it for longer, then at least I have a position starting to kind of slowly build up here in IQST to make some money here, because I do think that this company You know, if you're projected $90 million revenue in 2022, and they're expecting to actually exceed that, I mean, that's strong, especially in these economic conditions like they stated in the article. So currently sitting at 25 cents, and you know, it could hang around there for a little while, or it could start trickling back up. But I think easy double up play from 25 to 50, no doubt. And then eventually, once the market starts to kind of have some stability, it can start to kind of follow that as well and kind of probably get closer to $1. Okay. All right. So now we'll go over to hemp. And I did discuss this on our stock pick video that hempcrete was approved in the United States for residential construction, which is big for Hemp Incorporated. Okay. But they did release this on the 4th about their revenue. So we're going to talk about that here. It says that Hemp Inc's revenue has been steadily increasing over each quarter. Hemp Inc. has seen an increase of 146% in Q1, 383% in Q2, 455% in Q3, as compared to the same quarters of the previous year, with an overall growth of 315% growth rate for 2022. With facilities in Spring Hope, North Carolina, and Las Vegas, Hemp Inc. has two major production lines. The 85,000 square foot facility on 9 acres in Spring Hope, North Carolina, produces Spill Be Gone and drywall. These are both hemp/canaf blends of a product that is well suited for a base for hemp and canaf plastics, oil and gas well drilling, and oil spill cleanup. The Las Vegas facility produces some of the best cannabinoid products available at an excellent price. Okay, and then on the 6th they came out and they talked about this here. It says Hemp Build magazine recently reported that hempcrete, a carbon sequestering fibrous insulation material made from hemp stalk, hurd, and lime, has been approved for the United States residential building code utilized by 49 out of the 50 states. Hempcrete was approved for the Model U.S. Residential Building Code during a hearing last month, which was overseen by International Code Council. The material was approved by an appendix for the 2024 International Residential Code, which governs United States residential building codes for 49 out of the 50 states. The new code, set to be published formally in 2023, will feature hemp lime or hempcrete under Appendix BA. Specifically, hempcrete was approved as a non-structural wall infill system. The approval applies to 1- and 2-family dwellings, townhouses, and should increase the availability of hemp-based building materials and facilitate greener construction projects around the United States. Hempcrete creates a fire-resistant insulation wall that also acts as a moisture regulator. Since hemp is an organic material, hempcrete is considered a carbon sequestering construction material, which further improves its sustainability. While hempcrete will be available in most home construction projects in the U.S., it remains prohibited from commercial projects at least until 2025. That is when officials are set to renew the International Building Code, which governs any occupancies covered by the IRC. Then it comes down here. It says hemp, the construction material has long been used in France and Canada, but federal hemp prohibition in the U.S. kept it out of official building codes for decades, despite its unique sustainable properties. Hemp Inc. currently has 100,000 pounds of hemp/canaf blend of product that is well suited for base for hemp and canaf plastic, oil, and spill cleanup. In addition, they have enough hemp canaf stock in Hemp Inc's manufacturing plant in Spring Hope to produce another 770,000 pounds of Hemp Inc. blend. The canaf plant looks similar to hemp, even though it's a genus of hibiscus. Canaf can be a key ingredient in the production of hempcrete because it is has very similar properties to hemp when used to make plastics, oil spills, cleanup materials, etc. And looking at the share price of hemp, guys, let me just kind of put this into perspective. If you're thinking like longer term that this has some traction and you could see it go back to, you know, the pennies and potentially maybe 50 cents, $1, something. I'm talking long term. I'm talking 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Then, you know, what I'm doing here is my goal is to hit a certain amount of shares, and right now you can get it at a steal. Okay, so let's say for example, I just put 40 bucks a month into this. That's 100,000 shares. Okay. And if it stays at this price or goes lower, which it actually was lower, it hit like is 3 zeros and 2. I could have put 20 bucks in and got 100,000 shares and just continue to hold and average down. If it falls, then eventually you'll have a very large amount of shares. And if this thing never takes off, you'll reap the benefits of it. And I do think longer term it can, because currently they're in the revenue phases of revenue building phases of their business, and they've been focused on infrastructure for years, and then now they're pretty vocal about they're focused on producing revenue now, which is a good thing for shareholders. So one to keep an eye on, no doubt, and maybe buy a little bit of, just to have in your back pocket to kind of keep track of the price. I remember being in this one, I forgot what my average price was, but I remember it shot up all the way to 4 cents back in 2020 or 2021 for National Hemp Day, and I was able to take profits from that. And then once it dropped down, I rolled back some money back into it. But now I'm thinking longer term, I'm going to be starting to accumulate here and accumulate IQST here, or more of IQST, because I've been saying this vocal for at least the past year for IQST, is that 50 cents or below is a buy zone for me. So just slowly accumulate, and now's the time to do that, as the prices are falling with everything else in the market, because eventually everything's going to turn around once things do kind of stabilize, and that price should start moving further back to the upside. So all right guys, so sorry for the longer video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in your comments below. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.